The Canadian Conservative government has drafted guidelines that would allow it to pull financial aid from any Canadian-made television show or film that it deems offensive. Is this censorship, and is it necessary? That's what I intend to find out in the word on the street. So, do you think this proposed C10 bill, will that have a negative effect on media that's produced in Canada?
Yes, or because, it will limit people's choice about what to produce in Canada. And I think as Canadians and consumers of Canadian media, we need to open our eyes to many different perspectives, and maybe some perspectives that would challenge our norms and whatnot. We're a pluralistic society, and I think it's really stifling to censor certain productions that may be offensive to some but not offensive to others. And it's a great learning experience, really, to see these types of medias that may be offensive to some people. It can be a real positive thing. So
things that are maybe deemed offensive could have a positive impact.
Yeah, they could maybe open up other people's eyes. Some people find it offensive, maybe if they see it and understand why it's being shown or something, it can have a positive educational impact on those people.
So do you agree with the proposed Bill C10, specifically the part about censorship to Canadian film and media?
I don't agree with it at all. Censorship is something that has been a problem in the past. We had the Hays Code in the States, which completely eliminated so much talent that could have blossomed forth that was really constricted because of a censorship bill that should have never happened. I think that we're already restricted enough. Some directors are already forced to cut out scenes from their films to get rid of the X rating or the R rating, and most directors are aware enough of their art that they should be able to do what they want, and they shouldn't be restricted by the right, by the Christians who are the ones who proposed this bill in the first place. I think that there is a lot of room for artistic vision, and I think it would be harmful to our economy to have this bill go in place, because it is so restrictive of Canadian film that Canadian film is really having a resurgence right now, and it needs to be able to continue forth and to build rather than be restricted like this bill is proposing to do.
Not necessarily. I mean, I see why there are potentially regulations on certain aspects of the media, but for the most part, media directors and actors and people involved in the entertainment media industry should be able to express their viewpoints in an open manner.
I feel it's kind of a step backwards from the freedoms we already have. I mean, it seems slightly unnecessary. I don't really know what the catalyst was that made it necessary to have new measures imposed onto just what's being produced. It just seems we're fine without it, and it's just sparking open new debate that's not really we're fine with it there's that now.
I don't know, I kind of see it as a link to the kind of rise of extreme religious fanaticism that's going on. I don't know, it seems like a complete step backwards. And if you look at things that were being made in 1915, 1930, I don't know, it seems ridiculous and out of nowhere, I guess.
I don't like censorship in any form. I think it reminds me of a dictatorship or a communist regime, maybe.
Do you think that this kind of thing could hurt the already struggling Canadian film and television industry?
For sure. I think if they were to eliminate a lot of the things that they find offensive, a lot of the movies would become a lot less interesting and not fun to watch.
Who should be making these judgments about what is to be deemed offensive and not offensive?
I don't think that's necessarily the question. I mean, I don't want to dismiss your question, but I don't think that because something is offensive that it should not be produced. I think that some of the best things that have been produced have been offensive. So
the consensus seems to be that Bill C10 should not be passed at all. Apparently, the most offensive thing to Queen's students is censorship itself. I'm Rene Rodgers signing off for Queen's TV.